Dolphins hired Mike McDaniel. I think he was the Niners offensive coordinator. I was a little surprised by this hire. Were you surprised by this hire as well?
Yeah, this one caught me off guard. This was a name that I don't think was on a lot of people's radars. Mike McDaniel, he was technically the offensive coordinator in San Francisco, but head coach Kyle Shanahan called the plays. Now he's going to become a first-time head coach who's also going to call the offense apparently at Miami. That's a huge, huge red flag for me. It's hard enough becoming a first-time head coach, but also becoming a first-time play caller on top of that. I think he's putting a lot on his plate. There's a lack of experience with this hire that's a bit alarming. Only 1 year as a coordinator. And like I said, didn't even call the plays, now jumping to this head coaching position. I think Miami, it just kind of feels like an out there, like almost just kind of reaching for this guy, hoping to, find a diamond in the rough with this hire. And when you look at it, Miami was the only head coaching interview that he had. Not a single other NFL team that had any openings even requested an interview for Mike McDaniel. So that's a bit alarming if I'm a Dolphins fan.
I actually did not know that. So yeah, that would be alarming if I was a Dolphins fan. And right now, the Dolphins, I think they're going to stick with Tua for one more year. But do you think Mike McDaniels will actually be able to make Tua Tagovailoa a franchise quarterback?
No, I don't, because I just don't think he is. I think we've seen what Tua is at this point. I think he's a low-end starter, and that's really kind of his ceiling. He's not a terrible quarterback, but he's certainly not the guy that people thought he would be, being the 5th overall pick. The offensive line has some holes. The running game could use some help. I think he's going to need a lot of things around him to go well to elevate his game. I think he's just one of those quarterbacks. He's not a guy that's going to carry this franchise, and I think we've seen that. And when you draft a guy that early, that's kind of what you're hoping is for a franchise quarterback that can elevate the team around him, make the guys around him better. I just don't see that from Tua. I really don't. I think he's a very limited quarterback. I think he shows some nice accuracy. He has some nice plays, but I just don't see a very high ceiling on a guy like Tua, and I'm not sure any coach could really get him, to another level, so to speak. Maybe he gets a little better in a run game system that I expect McDaniel to run, a lot more play action, a lot more running game to complement the pass. But with that being said, I still think his ceiling is pretty low.